As the MISD Board of Trustees, we are pleased that you have joined us as we celebrate achievements, set goals, listen to reports of the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. We are not here to make management decisions. That is the responsibility of the superintendent. This is a meeting in the public, not a meeting of the public. You are our guest, and you are welcome to observe and listen. If you wish to address the board in the public comment portion of the agenda, please fill out the public comment form found on the back table and return the completed form to the superintendent secretary. We are pleased that you have taken the time to join us this evening, and we thank you for your interest in the Marshall Independent School District. Someone like to open us in prayer this evening?
Sure, I'll do it. Let's pray. Dear Father, thank you for the opportunity that we have together to come tonight and to work for the betterment of our school system and our kids and our teachers and staff. And dearly Father, we're thankful for what appears to be a lifting of COVID right now, and we're thankful for that. We're thankful for allowing us to open up a little bit more. Dear God, we just ask that you continue to keep your arms around our district and keep your hedge of protection high for our parents and our kids and our teachers and staff. Dear God, help us tonight to have the wisdom to make good decisions for the betterment of our kids and our teachers and staff, and we just are so thankful for everyone who works for us and with us to make education available to the kids here in Marshall ISD. We ask all these things in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen.
We'll now stand for our pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Okay, the first thing that we have tonight is a public hearing of the Texas Academic Report, the TAPER report for 2020 and 2021, and that will be done by Ms. Debbie Croom.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
I'm bringing to you our Texas Academic Performance Annual Report as required by law. Once we have the public hearing or the public statement on the annual report, it will be posted to our website within 2 weeks. So I have shared with you in the board book the full reports for the district and each campus. I will be bringing you a very abbreviated, much abbreviated report, but if you have questions, I have it all.
Thank you.
So the Comprehensive Texas Academic Performance Report System provides details of district and campus academic performance with financial reports and information about our staff, programs, and our demographics. As 2021 Texas Academic Performance Report for Marshall ISD, as everyone in the state, 2021 we were not rated, declared a state of disaster. 2021 special education determination was needs assistance, and we are currently working on that plan with TEA. Every campus for Marshall ISD was not rated, declared a state of disaster, so just making sure that those are listed for every one of our campuses. And our MISD 2021 STAR performance, what I did was I broke down the elementaries, the junior high, and the high school by their STAR assessments, and then of course by the EOC. So as we look at our third grade, we look at our approaches at 61%, meets 35, masters at 16. Math, third grade, approaches 59, meets 29, and masters at 12. Fourth grade took a little dip, as we've seen that trend, biggest part of the year. Approaches 54, meets 30, masters 11. For fourth grade math, approaches 53, meets 30, masters 13%. In writing, which is going away, approaches at 51%, meets 24, masters 5%. Writing will now be integrated into the reading language arts assessments. And fifth grade goes back up, approaches at 68%, meets 35, masters 19. I thought that was really good data coming off of COVID year for fifth grade because some of their assessments get a little longer. Math approaches at 64%, meets 36, masters 17. And science approaches 56, meets 23, and masters at 9. So this breaks all of the PowerPoint rules because there's so much data on it. But what I just wanted to show you, this is what the TAPER report looks like per pages, and this is where the numbers came from that are on the preceding slides. If you also want to go and look at how we compare to 2019, which is the last STAR assessment we have, you can go look at each grade level at approaches, meets, and masters for each one of our assessment areas.
And Ms. Crooms, just one thing.
Yes, sir.
To point out for the people here watching is there's a large dip in the state.
Yes.
That you can look at, and we kind of mirrored that.
We have, and we've mirrored and we've exceeded in some places.
Yes, saw that.
So very excited when we get to, especially to the junior high, that one of their grade levels took a really good above state average and did an increase in meets and masters, which is really what we're shooting for. But yes, because of COVID, the state took a dip. So I included these just in this presentation so that you all, as well as our audience and guests, could see where those numbers were derived. And so there's the fifth grade reading, math, and science. So our middle school, sixth grade, as trends, sixth grade a lot of time, approaches in reading 44%, meets 18, masters at 6. Math, higher than the reading, approaches 53, meets 23, masters 6%. And then seventh grade, they climbed a little more, 56%, 30%, 17%. For math, our approaches is 49, meets is 18, and masters. Eighth grade science, that is where we certainly will see, or eighth grade, in math and science, we're going to see growth in meets and masters. That's very exciting, seeing that in meets and masters especially. Our approaches didn't go up in eighth grade math and science, but our meets and masters did. So approaches in eighth grade reading is 63%, meets was 34, masters 10, math 65% at approaches, meets at 43%.
Wow.
And that is yes, that is wow.
And that exceeds the state average.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, sir. And masters at 10%. Science as well, 67% at approaches, 42% at meets, and 20% at masters. So significant gains in those two areas. And then for seventh grade writing, again, that will go away. 47% at approaches, 18 at meets, and 1% at masters. Again, the writing will be integrated into the RLA assessments. And this is just the taper report where those numbers were derived. But you'll see on eighth grade math, as you look at the comparison to the state, and our numbers in eighth grade math and science, as well as from 19, how big of a jump they took in meets and masters. So very exciting scores there. Our high school, for our EOC, end of course performances, ELA 1 was at approaches 45%, meets 28, masters 5%, ELA 2, 48%, meets 35%, which is really good data for our meets, and then masters at 3%. Algebra 1 approaches 64%, meets at 30%, very good data at meets, and masters is 18. Biology, our students perform well in science, approaches 73%, meets 43%, masters 12. And then U.S. history approaches 81%, and we did have a large population of students that took the U.S. history that year. Meets at 57%. So over half of our kids were at meets, and masters at 29%. Any questions? And
The Algebra 1 students,
yes, ma'am.
where does the Algebra 1 students that are at junior high, where do they show on this report?
They're in the junior high.
They're at the junior
Yes,
high,
ma'am.
but they didn't have a line?
Oh, I did not put a line in there. They were,
It's okay,
Okay.
I'll go back and look.
okay. Yes, ma'am. I apologize. Yes, they're at the junior high. And so when you take all of those numbers and I put them together just at our percent at approaches, meets or above, and masters per campus, this is what our performance looked like for 21 STAR. We gave 8,049 tests across the district, 57% at approaches, 31% at meets, and 11% at masters. Any questions on that data? Okay.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
No? Okay. Our college, career, and military readiness. So looking at that, those are our students that, again, are college, career, or military ready. This particular data does show military. After the 2020, they took the military indicator off, so we will not see that indicator anymore, or at least not for a while. We were at 53.4%. Those are our students that had industry-based certifications. They have 3 hours of dual credit in math or English, or they have 9 hours of dual credit in other content areas. They're an AP. Those are just a few of the college and career indicators. We have increased this year this is lagging data, so 2021 was 56%, and just by tracking this year, our 21-22 CCMR data without the M is right now projected at 65%, and we're pushing to get that a little bit higher by the end of the school year. So we won't see that data for a couple of years, but our goal is to be at 70 plus. Mr. Gregory and his high school team is working very hard at getting those CCMR points. This is our enrollment, or this was our enrollment for 2021. So total enrollment was 5,064 students, and you can just see the breakdown per grade level. Pretty equal across the district. Grade 10 for that year was pretty large, as was grade 7, over 400. Our ethnic distribution of our students, our gender of our students, and then our percentage of ECODIS, non-ECODIS, 504 students, and other students that have indicators. So breaking down our socioeconomic percentages across the district, we know the ISD as a whole was 63.2%. Again, that is an area that where we worked on to get more accurate numbers to reflect our district. Any questions? And the very last piece, this is was our staff information for 2020 and 2021. Professional staff is the top section. That would be our teachers, administrators, central admin, aides and auxiliary, librarians and counselors, and then it breaks down teachers by ethnicity, our teachers by gender, teachers by degrees, and teachers by years of experience. And that's one piece that we're working on. Again, this year is to, the bulk of our teachers are down beginning to 5 years. And so that is a place or area that we're working on, trying to shore up and give those teachers support so they stay with the profession. Our next group that's larger would be the 11 to 20 years, and we're at 66% with them. This is just a little more staff data. So looking at our years of experience, 21 to 30 years is 41% of our staff. And then we still have some hanging in over 30 years of experience. Staff information, experience by campus leadership. We tend to have a young staff of campus leadership, but they do an excellent job. Average teacher salary by years of experience, and then their actual salaries, and then staff exclusions. We don't have any of those. And then on the far corner, those are our teachers by programs. So we look at our bilingual ESL teachers, our CTE teachers, comp ed teachers, GT. The bulk, of course, of our teachers are regular education. Then special education rounds out our teachers by programs. Any questions?
I don't think so.
All right.
I did. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Good information.
Appreciate that.
Okay, do we have any public comments, Ms. Scott?
No, sir.
Okay, moving along to administrative reports. Number one is the strategic planning report by Mr. Jerry Hancock.
Howdy and good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am very excited to finally be in front of you guys tonight to share what we've been working on for about 3.5 months, and that's our Marshall ISD strategic planning process. First of all, I want to share some thanks with several people and groups. First of all, Dr. Langley for her leadership in the process, as well as her vision to create a comprehensive long-term plan for our district. I also want to thank Whitney Mayfield and Jessica Scott. Whitney has put together the graphics for tonight, and fear not, I only have 2 slides. And Jessica helped get the group together for the public meetings, and also helped provide the food that kept people coming to the public meetings. And just one other tidbit for Whitney, this is probably the 10th or 11th evolution of this presentation, because we knew the importance of this presentation. We knew we had to get it right, and we only had one chance to do it the first time. And finally, we had over 40 community members that served our community advisory team for this planning process. They came out 2 different nights, and through their work and cooperation, we have been able to complete 10 to 12 months worth of work in 3.5 months. It's very encouraging to me that so many people were willing to help our community. All those that served on this community committee here tonight, please stand, even if you're an administrator or a principal. So with all that in mind, let's look at our strategic documents. So you guys are familiar with this first document. It is our strategic plan. This is the finished product. This is what the public will see. This is what every office, campus, and department throughout the district will use when making decisions. So let's go over that document. We wanted something that was easy to read, easy to follow, and made all the connections so that people didn't have to try to connect dots through various sections. You'll notice at the top in red, we have our areas of focus. Below that, in each column, you'll have the goal that is listed for that, and then below that, the strategy to accomplish that. So first of all, we have student achievement for all. The goal, Marshall ISD will provide the structure to develop and improve the maximum potential for each student. And the strategies involved, there's 2 for that one. Marshall ISD will provide professional development relevant to engaging students in positive learning experiences. Through academic achievement, students will be able to apply authentic skills to life experiences. And the second one, Marshall ISD will ensure that students will learn to interact and communicate effectively throughout their time at Marshall ISD. The second area of focus is staff quality, recruitment, and retention. The goal, Marshall ISD will increase teacher retention by 10% annually through open communication processes, support, and faculty solutions. And the 3 strategies involved. 1, Marshall ISD will provide multiple avenues of communication at the campus and administrative levels that are both open and/or anonymous. 2, Marshall ISD will provide support to all staff with students and parents in both academic and discipline concerns. And the last one, Marshall ISD will provide all staff with positive reinforcement and recognition. All right, the third area of focus is district culture and climate. The goal, Marshall ISD is committed to establishing a culture of excellence. We expect all members of our district to work together toward continual growth and an unwavering sense of pride. And the 3 strategies, Marshall ISD will provide an atmosphere of unmatched pride and excellence in all that they do. Marshall ISD will foster an environment of inclusion for all stakeholders. And the final one, Marshall ISD will provide clear and concise channels of communication to improve relationships between parents, students, and the community. And you can see a trend developing there, and what was discussed was all about communication. The 4th area of focus, facility and technology excellence. So if you remember during your Team of 8 training that we did, that was all one goal. After finishing up with the community group and going through and trying to make sure that it flowed and you could connect it, we divided it into 2 goals and 2 sets of strategies because it was just too large to handle in one mouthful. So for our technology goal, Marshall ISD will effectively manage, maintain, and address the district technology needs and be proactive in providing innovative and non-traditional ways to meet the technology needs of students. And the strategy, and it should say MISD will, evaluate and implement technology in all areas of learning. And for the facility goal, Marshall ISD will annually evaluate all facilities and communicate the findings. And the two strategies, MISD will dedicate funding for maintenance and future endeavors. And the second one, MISD will conduct an assessment of facility purposes for future needs of students. And the final area of focus, family, community, student involvement. And the goal, Marshall ISD will increase communication within our community about student and family-centered activities geared toward inspiring our youth, building relationships, and being a consistent presence within the community. And the two strategies, MISD will establish a rapport with stakeholders in ways that build trust. And the second one, MISD will establish effective and varied communication. Now for our second document. This is one I'm very excited about and very proud of the community group put together. But this is our graduate profile. What this document represents is the set of skills, traits, and attributes that we will strive to ensure that each graduate possesses when they walk across the stage in May. This document will be posted in every classroom and every office around the district. Everyone will be working with this goal in mind. We must live this mission every day. We will also see both the strategic plan and the graduate profile in common areas in all buildings around the district. So you'll see what it takes to be a maverick: motivated, ambitious, vigilant, empathetic, resilient, integrity, communicator, and knowledgeable. Those are the things that community group felt it took to be a maverick. Finally, we have a strategic plan rollout committee set up to support our plan implementation. This committee will function under the guidance of Dr. Langley and myself to connect actions to our strategic plan. Any questions?
I like that little maverick thing. That's pretty cool.
That's good.
That came from one subgroup, and the entire community advisory committee, we just stopped the process there. They said they wanted to go with that one.
That was good.
It's good.
Yeah.
They did good.
So
Thanks for your work.
it has been a pleasure to work on this project, and I look forward to what it brings for us coming up.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. Thanks for your work, and thanks for all of you that were part of it, and everybody else. We appreciate it
Thanks.
very much. Okay, moving along to item 2, the superintendent's report. Dr. Langley?
Just a couple of things. One more thing about the strategic plan. I know you all have been on the board for many years and have seen a lot of goals and things. I feel like what I love really about this is the wording. You can tell this was not just educators coming up with things that were going to provide us with some goals that we could put some numbers to and go, yes, we did it, and check it off. I mean, you can tell this is pretty heartfelt from our community and from our staff and our students, which I was thrilled to have students in those planning meetings. So just wanted to recognize the hard work that they put in and how proud we are as staff members here in the district to have the input that they gave. Also, as shocking as it was when I came in and looked on my calendar today to see today is the first day of the 5th 6 weeks. I was just like, oh my goodness, you know, it's just crazy. We're already in the 5th 6 weeks. So I wanted to remind everybody of that. And also, we have one of our newest employees here tonight. Just wanted to do a shout out to Coach Jack Alvarez right over there. So we're glad he's here tonight. Already busy at work. So, and his official day really isn't until next Monday, but he's been hard at work already. So we're glad you're here. And other than that, that's it.
Okay, great. Moving along to the consent agenda action items. Those are our normal items that are typically on there each month. Had time to review those and we discussed them on Thursday also. Do you have a motion on that?
I move we accept.
Second.
as presented.
Motion by Ms. Marshall, second by Mr. Palmer. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries. Moving on to matters requiring board discussion and action. Under Finance, consider and approve the early signing incentive for new teachers. Mr. Chilcote, we discussed that briefly on Thursday also.
Any questions about the,
Anything else? Do we need any more questions on that? We did discuss it on Thursday, so this is for our new teachers that are
correct.
coming in. We'll get a signing incentive.
I move we approve the early signing incentive for new teachers as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Warwick and a second by Mr. Huffines. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries. Item 2 is to consider and approve the purchase of a sped bus. Mr. Chilcote also went over that on Thursday. We're having to replace one due to a wreck that happened a while back. We discussed we're getting some money, partial money from the insurance company.
I move that we accept this purchase.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Marshall and a second by Mr. Medina. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries. Item 3 and 4 were added since Thursday, and first one is consider and approve auto shop renovation. Chilcote.
So to renovate and upgrade the Marshall High School auto shop, we would look at cleaning and degreasing the floor. After we do that, we would have to run a test that is an MVT test to see the amount of moisture in the floor. If there is a certain amount of moisture, they will have to add an extra layer of this MVT, which would change the price. But they would shot blast the floor, apply 3 coats of epoxy, paint all walls, doors, frames, and the ceiling. And that range could be anywhere from, without the extra MVT coating, it would be $68,565. If the moisture was too much and we had to do the extra MVT coating, it would be $82,940. But that would be removing everything from the shop, epoxying the floor, painting walls, ceilings, frames, doors, everything, and then putting everything back in.
When would you think this would take place?
In the summer.
Summertime.
Is that the same company going to do that did the floor, the ceiling of the floor in the auditorium? Do you know?
Casey Sloan would be the construction manager, so yes, I believe he would use the same.
Yeah.
They do a really good job.
Yes,
They do.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be great.
it would.
That's looked the same since I went there.
Yeah, it needs it, and
100%.
it would brighten up the room.
Oil and grease on the floor.
You may find some things you hadn't been looking for.
And in the CT audit, it did say that we need to clean up that area, and this would definitely help that.
Yeah, that's great. Do we have a motion for that?
I make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Huffines and a second by Mr. Palmer for the auto shop renovation. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries. Item 4 is consider and approve the CTE covered storage area.
So if you've been to the Ag Barn recently, but you've gone back further toward the welding booth, you can see the welding bays. It is falling apart back there, and we need to do some extra storage and cover that and clean up that back corner of the welding bay, the high school CTE area. So we would like to install a structural steel frame with roof and sides that would be anchored to the existing concrete. This would be storage for welding, ag, and automotive. This would be $95,210. You can see I have added the area to be covered in that back storage area from Google Maps.
So are we paying for all this out of fund balance, or how are we doing?
No, it was budgeted for.
And this would be locked, I'm guessing?
Yes, it would have 5 rolling gates.
Okay.
That would be, yes,
And there
secure.
will be shelves in there also for
Yeah.
them to stack.
Storage for all welding, for some ag and some automotive.
Is it all weather, or is it going to be open?
It will be, we will use the existing chain link fence on the back. The roof and sides will be added, and then on the concrete side, I guess that's on the east side would use a retaining wall, and it would be covered with steel as well.
Gotcha. Partially covered. Yeah. I know they could use a storage, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, we had to tear down a lot of storage to put up the ag barn, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, do we have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Ms. Warwick, a second by Mr. Medina. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries. Okay, we will now adjourn into closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code, Chapter 551071, 551074. Okay, back in open session. Item 1, we need to consider and approve the regular personnel matters as recommended.
I recommend that we consider and approve the personnel matters as recommended.
Second.
Okay, have a motion by Mr. Huffine, a second by Ms. Warwick. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries. Item 2 is a possible action regarding the superintendent's recommendation on professional employees and campus administrator contracts.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Huffine, a second by Ms. Warwick. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries. No further business. We are adjourned.